Hey everyone, Pastor Brad from Abundant Life here. We read this in Acts chapter 15, verse 29. You are to abstain from food sacrificed to idols, from blood, from the meat of strangled animals, and from sexual immorality. These directions were given to the believers in Antioch and Syria from the church leaders in Jerusalem. It was intended to help them navigate a very difficult situation that had arisen when Jewish believers claimed that non-Jewish believers had to follow Jewish laws in order to be saved and grow in Christ. Well, the church leaders had declared that God's grace through Jesus Christ was enough for salvation. Nevertheless, our lives need to be marked as completely different from the lives of the rest of the world. For this reason, these particular directions were given. And when we take a look at these directions, we realize that the spirit behind these is not to establish rules on top of grace. Rather, these are directions that come from grace that show grace. For instance, food sacrificed to idols is a rejection of any other god except the true God. From blood and the meat of strangled animals, well, that has to do with something that was very offensive to the Jews because it was prohibited in their law. So why would we do something to offend someone and thus put up a barrier to the gospel? And thirdly, from sexual immorality. According to the Bible in 1 Corinthians, sexual immorality is a sin against your own body and your very being. So in other words, we're to love God, love others, and love others as we love ourselves through what we do in life. This is all part of grace and going and growing in God's grace. So continue to pray for one another, study the Bible carefully to apply it wisely to your life, and don't forget, wash your hands. God bless.